What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Lev Game Season 1, Episode 7, The Average Man's Perspective on Football. I am your co-host, Marcus. On the panel tonight is Herman. Say what up, Herman.
What's up, people?
Mark.
Hello.
And Brian.
Thank you for joining us.
Before we get started, I want to encourage you to go over to sportsintel.net for some great commentary and opinions about everything sports related. That's sportsintel.net. Also want to encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. Like the videos, share the videos, subscribe to the channel. Help us out, help us build this base up so we can get the word out about the Lev game. Mark, what are we starting with tonight?
Oh, one more thing. Also, check us out on Twitter.
And Marcus, what about the bing? Don't they got to hit the button, the bell?
Oh yeah, hit the bell. Once you subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications when we go live.
And like Herman said, we are on the Lev Game on Twitter. You can follow us. You can live tweet the show. You can actually go with our predictions and try to beat us on who we think is going to win.
Last week we had a couple of games that were pretty interesting. Pretty good week for week 3. Our predictions from last week. I know I kind of didn't do too well on my prediction. First game we talked about the Baltimore Ravens and the Denver Broncos. Who'd you pick, Herm?
I picked Denver, and I picked wrong. Denver scored 14 in the first quarter and didn't score again the whole game. I mean, that was ugly. So I didn't have any faith in the Ravens. I thought Denver's defense would, would hold them in. I thought the offense would do just enough, but it didn't happen. Started off that way, but I got him.
Marcus, who did you have?
I picked Denver. Just like Herman, I didn't have much faith in the Ravens. And looking at the game, that probably was a mistake. After those 14 points scored by the Broncos, they never scored again. The Ravens pretty much dominated that game. Good for them.
Brian?
I'm with Herman and Marcus. I also went with Denver on that game. Really impressed with the way the Ravens defense stepped up in the second half. Shut that Denver offense down. They were pretty balanced. I mean, they got good wide receivers. They got a good running game. I thought the game was going to be closer than that, but Baltimore did what they had to do, and Denver just didn't do anything in the second half.
I think we all struck out on that one. I chose Denver last week, too. For the same reason you all discussed. I just thought Denver would come out and dominate. I didn't think that Baltimore would be able to run the ball as well as they did. They did a good job of running the ball on them. Got up on them early, and then they cruised from there. The next game, the one that I was scratching my head with, is the Patriots. The Patriots and the Detroit Lions. That was a crazy game. Brian, who did you take?
If you go back to the tape, we all picked the Pats. We didn't really have much discussion on this game. We were talking about how Belichick is this god and how his record is against his pupils and all this other stuff. And Matt Patricia, he must have listened to our broadcast and said, forget y'all. Y'all know what y'all talking about, because it was an ugly game. I mean, when you hold the Patriots to 10 points, you're doing something. And that that Lions defense was nothing like the Lions defense the week before. But give credit where credit is due. Matt Patricia knew what he was doing, and he did a bang up job on it.
Yeah, I think Karma came back on Patriots in this one. I'll tell you why. I don't know if y'all saw at the beginning of the game. Bill Belichick walked past them 2 little kids reaching out for high fives.
I did see that.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, he walked right by him. So you know what? That's what they get for that. That's all I got to say.
But you see, then again, he gave Patricia a hug.
And you know why? Because most of the people who left the Patriots, they left and went to like the Jets, or they went to a team that was like almost like they were trying to rival. I think he stayed. He got his counsel from Bill. And then he left with his blessing. I think some of these other people were like, Bill's like the Godfather.
Yeah.
You don't leave without his blessing. So
Kiss the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, the rings up.
That, right.
Marcus, what you had? Who you had?
Well, I picked the Patriots. I never picked against Tom Brady, but they went to that game and they looked very bad. But I'm not really worried about the Patriots. They usually tend to get stronger as the year progresses. It was just, I think Matt Patricia had their number. Especially on defense, their defense could not keep up with those running backs out of the backfield. New Patriots defense linebackers couldn't do it, and I think Patricia knew that, and he utilized that concept very much because every time they got into a running back out in the backfield, those Patriot linebackers were like nowhere to be seen. They were always getting outran. And anytime Brady goes for 14 for 26 for 133 yards and 1 touchdown, it's not going to be a good day. And Gronk was limited to 4 catches for 51 yards.
That was another key.
And the Pats had at one point they were double teaming him like they do on the punts when they got 2 people right in front of him. And so that means they weren't respecting the outside receivers at all.
No,
like,
not at all.
And the Pats
Logan didn't do anything, and I don't even know who the other guy is on the other side.
Yeah, no Pats receiver had over 100 yards. So, if you come like that, it's not going to be a good day. So they need to hurry up and get Josh Gordon in there and come up with some game plans and see what they can do.
They were even doing a good job keeping the running backs coming out of the backfield, which is one of the Patriots' bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the running backs on the linebacker and getting a big play out of it. They were able to shut that down for the most part of the game too.
I think the Patriots defense took the beating more so than anything else. There was a lot of three downs and out. So they kept the defense on the field a lot longer than what they expected it to be.
And New England's defense is a bend, don't break type defense anyway. You'll get chunk yards, you'll get down there, but most of the time when you get to the red zone is where they normally buckle down, make a kick a field goal, or make a mistake.
I wonder. I didn't have the stats. I didn't look it up. Is this the first Bill Belichick assistant to beat them?
I believe so. I think it is.
Was it the Texans coach?
No.
No.
I think that is. I think he's the first.
Yeah, he's the first.
Yeah, that's good for him. Next game we have is the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. I chose the Saints on this one. I was victorious. What about you, Marcus?
I also chose the Saints. I knew the Saints weren't going to lose. Drew Brees, I mean, he was looking fantastic out there. Even though Matt Ryan and the offense finally got their stuff together, it looked great too. If you're like me, you like an offensive game. That was a great game.
It was, yeah.
But I pretty much knew the Saints were going to pull it out. Brees, he was 39 for 49, 396 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 rushing touchdowns. That's one of the best games he's had in a long time. Plus, you don't expect 2 rushing touchdowns from Drew Brees, but that was a great game.
Herman?
Yeah, I had Atlanta on this one. I knew it could have been a toss-up between the two. I went with the home team. Like I said, I think I said it last week. Atlanta's offense was really starting to get going, and it really is. I mean, you got Ridley. I think he had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was 7 catches, 146 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and then you got Julio. He's going to get his, and then Sanu, and they always have that run game. So Atlanta's offense definitely is picking up each game. I think their defense, they're hurting at safety.
Well, they lost 3 of their starters so far for the season. So
I went with Atlanta. I thought the home advantage was going to get it to them, but I mean it was a close game.
Hey, Herman, I need you to move closer. Get inside. There we go.
Brian, we had.
I was also with Herman, and I went with the home team. I mean, when we talked about it last week, we thought this game was a divisional game, toss-up game. It was in Atlanta. It could have went anyway. And by the score, I mean, they went, to the overtime, had to get into there to win that game. Everybody was scoring when they pretty much needed to. It was a great game offensively, not much defense, which is what I much prefer to watch. But I mean, hats off to New Orleans for having a bang-up game. The Atlanta defense had no answer for Kamara. I mean, every time you turn around, Brees was throwing it to Kamara, and he was getting 10, 15, 20 yards. So, you got to learn to stop him, do something with him. But good job for New Orleans.
Yeah, Kamara, he had 15 catches for 124 yards receiving. So he had a hell of a day.
Next game we have is the Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets. Herman, what did you have now?
Pick the Browns. I think we all picked the Browns on that one. We knew it was going to be beer time in Cleveland, but I don't think we thought it was going to go the way it went because I wasn't expecting to see Baker Mayfield take the field that night. Tyrod Taylor was looking pretty bad, so he got hurt, and it makes you wonder if he hadn't got hurt. The crowd was booing.
Oh, they definitely would have pulled him. While he was in, he was 4 for 14 for 19 yards. So
Yeah, and I mean Mayfield didn't light it up. He was only 17 for 23 for 201, but he didn't turn the ball over and he didn't throw any touchdowns. But the energy he brought, it was crazy.
He got a crazy it factor.
Yeah,
He
was
had
crazy.
it. I don't know how you describe it, put it on. But he had that it factor.
You got to give a shout out to Carlos Hyde. You know, he had a bang up game while he's having a brand new baby. So, you know, congratulations to you, Carlos.
So you chose.
I also chose the
too?
Browns. Finally, I picked one right. Wasn't a good week for me, but I finally got one right. And it was dicey. You know, it wasn't like, you know, in the bag, you know, but it was just like Herman said, when Baker Mayfield came on the field, it was like electric. I mean, the whole town, you thought they won the Super Bowl as hard as they celebrated and won their game. And it was well-deserved win. You know, defense did what they had to do. Really kept the Jets quarterback,
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold, you know, flustered, like in the end of the game when he needed to have it, threw that interception. Then he got the ball back and did the exact same thing. So, you know, good job on the defense, and I was really impressed, and thank you for Vince.
Marcus?
I picked the Browns. I knew the Browns were going to win. I think the Browns are actually a very good team. I think now we see the reason why Hugh Jackson didn't get fired after going with no wins last season. He has an excellent staff. He has Todd Haley as offensive coordinator. He has Greg Williams as defensive coordinator. And I think you saw that they were a very good team. They, like I said, Baker Mayfield, he brought that energy. And the Browns should be 3-0. In my opinion, they should be on top of the AFC North right now. They should be. It could easily be 3-0.
That's crazy. I can't argue. I can't disagree with you on that one, Marcus.
They were easily in those games they lost. I just want to warn the fans of Cleveland. As a Redskins fan, I know a little bit about anointing somebody the savior and the second coming. So I'm hoping for Baker Mayfield. I watched a lot of them in college, but you know,
say buyers beware, right?
We're feeling that now in Texas too. So.
Yeah, I took Cleveland also. I thought the game, man. I mean, it felt like a playoff or a college atmosphere. It was hype. I kind of feel a little bit bad for Tyrod Taylor, only simply because we knew once he got out, he wasn't gonna be back in it. We knew that. We knew once he got taken out, he wouldn't come back.
But he went to Cleveland with that understanding.
I think he thought he was going to get a year.
I don't know why.
When they drafted the number one pick was a quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Remember he went there.
I think just like Fitzmagic, he gets the job until he's in.
I don't know.
Well, he lost it now.
It's lost. But this is the question, though. I feel like these teams that draft these quarterbacks, or high pick quarterbacks, these young guys, you need better veteran quarterbacks around them. Tyrod Taylor, to me, he's been around, but to me, he's not a veteran quarterback that I would.
Right, because you're not going to model his game. Right. Tyrod has a totally different game.
Exactly, and that's not to take anything away from Tyrod, but I just wouldn't model. I wouldn't want him as my mentor for my quarterback. I would want somebody that, is more similar to their game. Somebody who's been maybe a career backup a little bit.
Yeah, like the Jets have like the perfect scenario.
Yeah, McCown.
Yeah.
Something like that. Not to say McCown can light it up, but he's been in the league long enough and he's been around enough. He knows how to study film. He knows how to prepare for the game. And
he knows how to prepare for games like that.
Yeah,
because he's been mostly been a backup.
It's almost like you have a coach behind.
Exactly, and I don't feel like Tyrod. Tyrod still wants to start. He still wants to be the guy. So I didn't feel like that was going to be a good fit for him. But we'll see now, I guess, now that he's going to be back in work, how much help will Mayfield get from him. But, Mayfield looks pretty good. I mean, like you said, you got to be careful anointing him. But the energy he brought to that game, you can feel it.
And with that defense, and I mean, they got a solid running game. They're definitely going to be in most of these games. I'm not going as far as that. I think they should be 3-0. They had the opportunity, but they also had the opportunity to be 0-3. I mean, let's be realistic. The games were close for a reason. So, one turnover here or there. So, but then again, I'm just curious how they would have been if they had just started with it.
That's true too. It does make that sound interesting.
I also want to say that I don't think any team has benefited as much from hard knocks as the Cleveland Browns have this year.
You're probably right about that.
I think that's why that Thursday night game they said was the highest rated Thursday night game in like 5 years.
Yep.
And it was the Jets and the Browns. So I really think it has a lot to do with Hard Knocks. I don't think no team has
I think it
benefited.
had more to do with the lockers of beer.
I think everybody knew too that this was like the
This was
Browns'
going to be the
chance.
game.
This was the game.
Any game
Nobody
was. I mean,
wanted-
you looked at the schedule like,
Nobody wanted to miss that.
But congratulations to the Browns.
All right, our last game is Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Herman, who did you have?
Well, like Brian said, this was a bad week for me. I picked Tampa. I was apprehensive. It was a hard pick because I felt like the Steelers were going through so much that they were going to win that game. But I picked Tampa because Tampa was hot. Fitzgerald was doing his thing. Tampa lost that game. In my opinion, I think they're asking a little bit too much of Fitzgerald. He threw the ball 50 times. Dude was 30 for 50, 411 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Where's the run game? I know you fell behind in the game, but where's the run game?
Where was the run game in the first and the second half?
Exactly.
You could have, got it in play and kept that game a little closer.
Well, we throwing 3 picks and you get down, but I mean the Steelers were scoring like crazy. So I mean, at some point you just got to throw it in the run game.
The only quarterbacks in this league that you ask to throw the ball 50 times is Tom Brady and Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. That's it.
But I think out of the 3 interceptions, one got tipped.
Yeah.
So out of the two, and the one for the pick 6 and the other one, they were terrible passes. I have to apologize to the Steelers Nation. I picked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I didn't have faith in you guys. I'm so sorry, but I'm a believer now. I'm back. I thought that game. I think Fitz blew the game for Tampa. I thought that Tampa Bay, the one for that pick 6, Tampa Bay had all the momentum coming in the second half, and all they would have taken over the lead in the end of the game if it wasn't for that pick 6. That touchdown made a difference to me.
I don't feel like he blew the game. I don't know why. I mean, like you're backed up in your end zone.
Your defense.
Really? Yeah. You're backed up in your end zone and you're dropping back to pass.
Yeah.
Run the ball. Everybody, they're going to run the ball, but you got to run it and give them some space. You just have to. So,
And was it a play action play?
I think it might
I think
have
it might have been a
It might have been play action
like
too.
how
which
slow
is
developing that
really,
is.
really dicey.
Yeah, y'all were the Steelers were pressuring them like all night long, and that's what you call. Nah, I don't like the call. Again, he threw the ball. It was either that or probably take the safety, which of course the safety.
Marcus, who'd you take, Marcus?
I picked the Steelers. Steelers are a proverbial good team. They're always good. There's no way they were going to go into week 4 without any wins. As hot as Tampa Bay is, good teams don't do that. So I had ultimate faith that the Steelers were going to get their act together and win that game, even though they almost didn't. It looked like Tampa Bay was going to come back near the end, but they did exactly what I thought they would do. And I don't blame Fitz for losing that game. I mean, he threw them 3 picks, yes, but he also was the reason why they were, in a position to be able to come back and maybe win that game as well. To me, he definitely keeps a starting job until he has to mess up way more. Now, if he had thrown those 3 picks and didn't throw the 3 touchdowns, then maybe. But to me, it's kind of like even out. So
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he keeps these.
Brian, what you think about it?
So again, another terrible pick because I also went with the Bucks. Again, riding a hot hand. And the bad part about doing this show on a Wednesday is that by Friday I had changed my mind and I thought about it and went back like what Marcus said. The Steelers have always been a great team. So much turmoil, so much craziness going around there that they were going to lose on Monday night, to the Bucks. And we were having a conversation, through the WhatsApp talking about it. And I said, we told me and Herman, I think both were saying, man, Pittsburgh's going to win. But of course the pick was in, so I got it heated like I did. But on my money ones, I picked the Steelers.
So did I win the shame.
But again, it was a good game. I actually went to sleep on that game at halftime because I thought it was over and I wanted to get some rest and to wake up to see that it was 30-27. I'm like, what? But it was still a good game.
It was a pretty good Monday night game. It really was. It was pretty good. Which you guys saw the assault in the game, didn't you?
That's their fault.
I mean, if you that was an assault.
You didn't see that, Stephon, Holly?
For him to push that man down, that much
Yeah, okay.
I'm surprised he didn't go after him.
I know.
He's
He's a postcard man. He's a me.
You know, you want to talk about roughing the passer. I mean,
There should have been some type
gracious.
of penalty call on that one.
Oh my God.
He should have retired that.
I'm saying, had that been me, I'd have been like Vontae Davis. I'm like, I'm retiring at halftime. I'm done. I'm going home now. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Y'all ain't disrespecting me like that anymore.
On national TV, everybody saw it.
Yep, everybody saw that. So a couple other things in that game too that was pretty interesting. The roughing the quarterback. I mean, I'm feeling sorry for these defensive players now. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, we saw a meme on Facebook of a girl running, and the guy runs behind her, picks her up gently, and lays her to the ground.
Put a pillow behind her
Yeah,
head.
put a pillow on her head. So I think that's basically what you got to do nowadays. We were joking, talking that maybe we should just blow on the quarterbacks, or two-hand touch them or something. Just say, hey, you're down.
Or just give him a flag.
Yeah. Or
Put a
something.
flag on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's getting. That's the point it is getting to. It's one player hurt his knee,
Yeah.
Hurt out for the season.
It was a 49ers, wasn't it?
Or no, it was somebody else.
Tennessee. It was a Tennessee player, I think.
Okay,
Tight.
okay.
But he hurt his knee because
Yeah,
he
he
was
was trying not to fall
on,
on.
and
Yeah.
he tore his ACL. I
Yeah.
think so he's out for the season.
Yes.
Come on, NFL. I know you want to be safe with the game, but you got to do something with this. This is completely ridiculous.
Well, and I think that the NFL does kind of know because it's either yesterday or today they had some type of meeting to talk
conference
about
call,
it.
yeah.
And just like in the preseason when we were going on and on about the helmet, blowing the helmet penalties, I haven't really heard too many of those calls this season.
You have it.
So I'm thinking that the NFL is realizing that this is a little ridiculous and that we maybe need to calm it down. I agree, with them tackling and laying on top of the quarterback. That is a bit excessive, but you're just hitting them and letting them go down. I mean,
Yeah, or even the pickup that you'll see him do somehow.
they'll pick it and try. I mean, because you're obviously trying to
Yeah,
get the
yeah,
quarterback
that's
on that play, but you're not just trying to tackle them. But these tackles, what they're flagging them for, and Clay Matthews got another one.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the Dallas game, and that just turned the whole momentum of that whole game. When Russell Wilson got a flag for that. So they definitely need to adjust it and do something, some type of happy medium for everybody to be excited. But right now, it's just out of control.
I mean, they could just play tag. Just a tag, you're down.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
It's affecting games.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hit them high, you can't hit them in the head, you can't hit them low. You got to hit them in the middle, but you can't tackle them too hard.
Yeah, it's just like you're supposed to just bump into them and hope they fall to the ground.
Right. I mean, is this
You should turn around and back into them with their butt and see they get
I guess the only thing you can really do is shove them real hard. I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
And then that might be a flag too. Roughing the quarterback. Shoving.
we're gonna talk about the picks for next week.
Just real quick, maybe we should change the name of our show. Roughing the quarterback.
Crazy, man.
Next week we got picks for the next week game. First one up, Rams and the Los Angeles Rams and the Minnesota Vikings. Brian, who you got?
On this one, I'm gonna go. It's in LA, but I'm actually gonna go with the Vikings. The Vikings looked terrible last week. They lost their first game. They didn't get a touchdown.
Yeah,
They got
they had the very.
They got
a trash touchdown at the end.
But Buffalo was beating them up and down the field. But the Vikings are going to be in the playoffs. They are going to be a good team. The Rams are the best team right now in the NFL, but they're young still and they're still flying high. I think the Vikings have the defense that can slow Gurley down, make Goff have to make more plays, less play action, less easier throws. And then also the Rams lost two of their top DBs. Keith Talib is not going to play, and Peters is up in the air if he's going to play or not.
Yeah, Talib is on IR now.
Yeah, so with those reasons, I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
Marcus, who you got?
Pretty much same lines as Brian. I think the Rams should win that game, but I feel like with Minnesota losing the way they lost last week, Mike Zimmer, he's not going to allow them to come in there and lose another game. It was embarrassing the way they lost last week to Buffalo. Totally embarrassing. Like Brian said, LA has lost two of their top corners, and I want to pick LA, but I'm convinced that Minnesota is going to win. And this is I think this will probably be the best game of the week. I think it'll be a close game. Probably be the best game of the week. I'm picking the Vikings.
Herman, who you got?
Well, you guys made some good points about the Rams. I didn't realize they had lost their starting 2 corners, but I'm going to stick with my pick, and I'm going to go with the Rams. They're at home. That they have an explosive offense. That offense is ridiculous. Even though the Vikings have a really good defense, I just feel like I get what you're saying about they're not going to get embarrassed again. But if Buffalo did what they did on offense to the Vikings, the Rams can duplicate that.
They can triple.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Gurley's in the backfield. He's pitching it to him. He's running it. They're doing screens, everything.
So I'm gonna go with the Rams. I think if this was a road game for the Rams, I would probably pick the Vikings. But the Vikings got beat at home by Buffalo. I think they're still gonna be reeling a little bit. I agree they're still gonna be in the playoffs, but they're just gonna hit a little rough patch right here.
Just real quick before you answer, Mark, do you think like maybe that the Vikings might have overlooked Buffalo?
Yeah, definitely. They were looking at this game.
Oh yeah.
They were looking at this game.
This is like a preseason game. We got this.
Yeah, they definitely.
Do you think they overlooked them because the week was so short? They were like, well, we got a real powerhouse, in a short week.
Overlooked them because
And Buffalo looked awful. Buffalo looked awful last 2 games.
Buffalo had players that quit on them at halftime. They was overlooking Buffalo.
I mean, I can lie. On Sunday, I was shocked when I kept seeing that score. I'm like,
Yeah.
am I looking at that right now? I need to go get my glasses.
My fantasy team almost lost because of that.
Wow.
I think same as you guys said, Rams. I think Rams is just too strong. I think they're gonna take the Vikings. Vikings is without their defensive pass rusher ever since Griffin.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this story?
Yeah.
Oh, his one is in the hospital.
Yeah,
right?
with the mental illness problem.
Yeah. So
Speedy, we're going on prayers for him too.
So the next game we got Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. This is another toss-up game here. Marcus, we start off with you. What do you think about this one? What you got on this one?
I'm all in on the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Mahomes, I watched Mahomes a lot in college when he was at Texas Tech. I'm so happy he's doing what he's doing. He's having the success he's having. Eventually, he will come down to earth a little bit, and it is the Denver's defense. But I think for right now, he's going to continue because the Chiefs always start hot. The first 5-6 games. This is only game number 4, so I think the streak will continue. Right now, Mahomes is 62 for 93 for 896 yards and 13 touchdowns for the season. I believe he goes in there and he lights Denver up and keeps doing what he's doing. And I also think that'll probably be the second best game of the week.
Okay, Herman, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick the Chiefs. So shout out to my cousin Juan. He's a huge Chiefs fan. It's on my nerves talking about my Cowboys. But yeah, Mahomes, he's just so hot right now. It's hard to pick against the Chiefs. And again, I look at what the Ravens was able to do against the Broncos. Now, the Broncos are at home, so I think it's going to be a closer game. But with the way that the Chiefs' offense is clicking, I got to go with the Chiefs.
They just have so many weapons on offense.
Yeah, they do.
It's not even fair.
Brian?
All the points that you guys were making are very true, and truthfully, the Chiefs are probably going to win this game. But for some particular reason, I'm going to go with the Broncos. It is a divisional game. That defense is good. The Broncos' defense is good. They can slow that offense down by keeping them on the sideline, by running the ball, and playing good D. I think they need to keep Mahomes on the sideline, not give him as many opportunities. Try to eat that clock, and it's a home field advantage. So I'm gonna go with the Broncos.
Me, I'm gonna say Chiefs. I got a Chiefs in this one. The Chiefs is a fun team to watch play to me. Mahomes and how Andy Reid had that offense trigger. It's like every piece kind of fit. Nobody seems like they're overshadowed really in that offense. And Mahomes spread the ball around. You look at his touchdowns. I think so far he's thrown to how many different receivers? I want to say it's like 11.
It's up there.
So he's getting the ball around, spread around nicely. I like to see him play. I like that offense. Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs.
just another point. I don't know if y'all noticed it too, but y'all bragging going on about the Chiefs offense. You know they have the worst defense in the NFL.
Well, it's not that good.
It's the worst.
It's not that good.
Well, we can score that many points.
That's
Exactly.
true. You know their offense is their defense, right?
Yeah, exactly. When you score that many points, you just hope your defense can do enough.
But too, that's part of the reason why their defense comes up as one of the worst in the league. Too,
We can
because
take
they're
our
playing
chances.
from ahead,
Oh yeah.
and so of course teams are going to rack up that yardage and stuff like that too. So that plays a role.
Yeah. Next game we got is the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Baltimore Ravens. Playing in Pittsburgh. Last week I went against my boys. I'm not going to do it this week. I'm taking Pittsburgh all the way. I think that, of course, it's a rival game. It's in Pittsburgh. We're gonna be a little hyped for this particular game. I'm taking Steelers all the way. Brian, what you got?
I looked at this game, and you're right. Again, enough, and that was the other thing too. Is when we were picking these games, I kept looking. There are a lot of division games that we're picking right now, which are harder games to pick because the teams know each other so well. But on this one, I'm actually going to go with Baltimore. Shout out to Ben. I know he's a big Baltimore fan, but that Steelers D is still questionable to me. I mean, they were doing their thing in the first half of that game, but the second half, where'd they go? I mean, they just let the Bucks walk back into that game. That should have been their time to shine, where they were really blasting them, because you know what they had to do. They had to throw to get back in that game. So that Steelers D still got me kind of nervous. They struggled with the Browns, and they struggled now. So the Ravens looked good last week too. The Ravens did their thing. I mean, push come to shove, they made the plays they had to make to win that game, and their defense ain't no slouch either. So I'm actually going to take the Ravens.
Marcus, who you got?
I'm going to take the Steelers. I think this is going to be one of those classic Steelers-Ravens games. Very low scoring, very hard hitting. It'll probably be something like 9-6. Yes, the Steelers defense is very bad, but I think they're going to turn up this weekend. And like I said, just one of those classic Steelers-Ravens games. I'm going to take the Steelers.
Yeah, most of the time you can throw the records. You can throw the records out the window when they play.
We need to do something because, apparently I'm the lone wolf on a lot of these games.
Seems that way.
Herman, who you got?
I'm going with the Steelers. I feel like that turmoil brought them together last week. Now the confidence is kind of there. The defense, they had 3 picks last week. They're going to start to feel a little bit better about themselves. They got back Hayden. He played last week. It's a classic divisional game. And I mean, I don't know the division as well as Mark probably does, but I'm sure you probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Steelers are head-to-head matchup.
It's like 27-20.
Yeah, they're leading it right now, but it's not by that much.
Yeah,
it's not that much.
It doesn't even have to be. It's, I always feel like when the Steelers they get the best of the Ravens. I don't know why.
And it always seems to come down to the end of the game.
Yeah, it does. So
it's always some crazy play near the end of the game, and it's most time it's Steelers.
That's my pick, Steelers.
Next game we got the Chicago Bears and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brian, what we got?
On this one, I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I don't know if you looked at the stats, but the Bucks have the number 1 ranked offense. I'm going on and on about that Chiefs offense, but the Bucks actually have the number 1 offense. The Bears defense is ranked 5th right now. I just think that when they played Green Bay and they had Green Bay on the ropes, Aaron Rodgers injured, and then comes back and they lost that game. It seems like that Khalil Mack is a dominant, fierce defensive player, but over time, throughout that game in the third and the fourth quarter, you seem to get your offense on point. And I just think that the Bucks will be able to score enough points that the Bears quarterback Trubisky. I'm just not sold on him yet. I'm just not sold on that offense, and I just think the Bucks will be able to get enough points to get.
Mark, you see thing?
I'm taking the Bucks. The Bucks are hot right now, even after the loss.
Well, you said Bears, right?
Bucks. I said the Bucks.
Bears.
I'm taking the Bucks.
I'm not a lone wolf on this one. Go ahead.
So I think even after that loss Monday night to the Steelers, I think the Bucks are still hot. I still believe Fitz has the magic. Like I said, I'm not convinced on Trubisky either. But it will be interesting to see, how much trouble Khalil Mack gives that offensive line and how often he sacks Fitzpatrick. Yeah, I think that'll be a good game as well. But I'm gonna put my money on the Bucks. I believe the Bucks are gonna pull this one out.
Herman, who you got?
Well, I'm going with the Bears. I'm gonna tell you why. The Bears. We saw what Pittsburgh game plan was against the Packers. Pressure. The Bears are going to pressure him even more. Okay, this is going to line up for your classic quarterback controversy because this game, Fitzpatrick, the Fitzmagic, it is going to be gone. He is going to cause them to lose this game.
So do you think that he's going to feel like, because like the first couple games, he knew that there was nobody going to take his place, so he can kind of play as free and willy-nilly as he can, but now there's pressure on him. If you don't play well, we're going to bench you.
And James Wilson back?
Yes,
he's back. He came back Tuesday.
So right
Tuesday
now,
morning.
they can like, okay, you're out of this game. We're putting Winston back.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say he'll make it through the whole game, but the Bears are going to pressure him. They're looking at that tape and they're like, oh yeah, they're looking at chop because they know that pressure gets to him. So that's why I feel like the offense will do enough. They got a good run game. I'm not sold on Trubisky either, but I think they'll do enough. But that defense, expect that defense to score at least one touchdown and have a couple turnovers.
I was wondering how many touchdowns you was going to say. I was just going to say like 2. I was going to be like, for real?
But yeah, I'm going with the Bears.
The Bears.
I'm going to piggyback off of what Herman said. I think that defense is going to make a difference for the Bears to dominate against Buccaneers.
You say dominate? You think they'll dominate against them?
I think they're gonna beat up on Fitzpatrick. Yeah.
So are we predicting Fitzpatrick loses his job after this game?
No, I don't think he loses his job, but I think the Bears are gonna do a number on him. They're gonna take a page out of Pittsburgh, the pressure, and you got Khalil Mack. He's gonna tear him up. He's gonna do some havoc.
So Fitzpatrick turned the ball over 3 times. Does he lose his job?
I still would give him a job. I wouldn't necessarily.
See, I don't think Winston is much of an improvement. They don't even get those points.
He's not.
They don't get all those points.
He's not, but he is still a number 1 draft.
And he still has potential.
To me, Winston's decisions in games are terrible. His decisions and choices in the game is terrible. He doesn't make the smart plays.
He does, and he throws he gambles a lot.
But this is the thing. You're not gonna. The reason why you go back to Winston, is because Winston is the first-round draft pick. Winston has the bigger contract. Yeah. Point blank, you're not gonna.
He's younger. I mean, y'all gotta remember that Fitzpatrick's 37.
Yeah. And you got to make a decision on Winston because I believe next year he's due like $20 million. I think I heard him say.
Yeah, if he's on a team like I think March 25th, something like that, he's due $20-something million.
Yeah, so you got to make that decision. You got to know what you're doing.
And his window is getting short.
His window is getting real short. So he's going to go from that starting quarterback to transition to a backup.
All right, last game we got the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. They play with the New England.
This is in New England.
Can I start?
You man, go ahead, Brady.
Tomboy.
So let me say this. Unequivocally, the Patriots will not lose this game. The Miami Dolphins, yes, they are 3-0. Yes, they are top of the AFC East. They are frauds. They are fakes. They're just holding the New England Patriots spot. Okay, they will slaughter Miami. They will not be embarrassed again. Belichick will not let it happen. Brady will not let it happen. It will be a slaughter. The Miami Dolphins are just holding New England's Patriots. They're keeping the seat warm for the Patriots.
Hey Marcus, I'm gonna ask you this question: What's how many yards has Tannehill thrown for so far?
Have no idea.
So far, he's done 300 yard games. How many yards? How many points has New England given up per game?
Quite a bit. I don't know for sure, but quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm taking Miami for that. I'm taking Miami.
Okay.
I think New England does not get off the slide yet. Not yet. I think Dolphins going to win this.
So you're going to tell me by the end, a quarter of the season is over, New England Patriots are going to have a losing record, is what you're telling me.
They're not going to win this game. Not this one.
I vehemently disagree.
Okay. We'll see. Ryan, who you got?
I'm with Marcus on this one. I agree. I can't recall the last time the Patriots lost 2 games in a row, which they just did, and I definitely don't remember them losing 3 in a row. It's in New England. Josh Gordon will probably be on the field this game. I think that they'll get their offensive firepower back with that addition to the game. And I like Tannehill. And I mean, actually, Tannehill, I think they were on like a 5 or 6 game winning streak if you go back to last year. But again, it's in New England, it's divisional. And like Marcus said, I don't see New England having a losing record at the worst.
Okay, Herman, who you got?
Well, Mark, looks like you're going to be the lone werewolf on this one. I'm going with the Patriots. They're at home. They don't lose 3 in a row. Like you said, Josh Gordon is going to be on the field, and I believe they get Edelman back.
Edelman, I think.
Oh no, the next week, not this game, but the next game.
He has 4 games. He
I
got
thought
4
he
games.
got 3 games.
Well, if he's back, that's even a more reason.
Yeah, if he's back, you can call it a day. It's done.
Either way, they are going to win this game. They're not getting beat at home by a division rival. It's just not.
So
gonna
you
happen.
saying is he back this game or next
I
week?
thought he was back this game.
Let me check. Keep talking. Let me check.
Yeah, check that out, Mark. I think it's next week.
It may be, but I thought he had 3 games because it was like, to me, I thought it was weird he had like less.
Where did Miami just play this week?
Miami just beat up the
Tennessee.
No, Tennessee. No.
He returns in week 5 against the Colts.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm still going with the Patriots. It's a home game, like you said, and I know one thing, Bill. If you're watching Bill Belichick, if you see little kids on the sideline, give them a 5.
Especially if they're wearing a Patriot jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah, if they're wearing a Patriot jersey, you better go ahead and give them a little
I
fight.
kind of understand. They were Lions fan. You were like,
it's kids,
Lions
man.
go
No,
fans.
you got to give the kids a 5, okay? No matter what.
Exactly.
No matter what.
They beat the Oakland Raiders.
The Raiders.
Yeah,
and the Raiders are an average team, and they had to come back and win that game.
Raiders are a sorry
You
team
sure
right
you don't
now.
want to change your pick, Mark?
I'm going with Dolphins. So we're riding down with Dolphins.
I just can't see it. I think Bizarro week in the NFL was last week. I think we're getting back to normal now.
Yeah.
Games should be a little bit easier to pick.
We did see another quarterback come back and play, Carson Wentz. What you got to think about Carson Wentz's performance on that?
I was actually really impressed with the way he performed. I expected a lot more rust out of Carson coming back. I didn't expect him to do as much running as I saw, scrambling and making plays. I mean, he almost looked like himself. I mean, a little bit of rust in the first and second half, but he did a great job. And I'm actually a little nervous now because they're also talking about Alshon Jeffrey will be coming back soon. Possibly this week he's got allowed to get contact, so he may be on the field, which is another problem.
Yeah, he was, 25 for 37, 255 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. I think I hope for his sake he learned from the injury. Because before he got hurt last year, to me, he played a little reckless when he ran.
He didn't take a lot of hits though, and that was a really brutal hit. He took
he was taking some hits because, especially in that game, in that particular game. Like I said, I was sitting there watching that game, and I turned to my son. I said, "You keep doing this, he's gonna get himself hurt."
He was going in. He was running a lot of times head first.
Yeah, he won't slide. Like you gotta be smarter than that.
You don't doubt.
You know, I'm trying to be. You're right.
Feel free not to slide, Carson.
But hopefully he learned his lesson. Even with him back though, I still don't feel like the Eagles are the big powerhouse that everybody's trying to make them out to be. I still think our division is very up for grabs. I gotta say, the Skins look pretty good right now. Oh, God, look in my mouth a little bit. We're struggling.
AP baby.
Yeah, I don't know. We're struggling. The Giants got their first win. We beat up each other in our division. And then you got to go outside the division too. So I don't see them as the powerhouse that everybody thinks that they're going to be. But he's back. We'll see.
I think they have a better chance of being the powerhouse everybody thinks he's going to be with him back. That first drive, he looked. I was like, "Oh, Carson Wentz is back." He looked amazing, and this is a good thing and maybe a little bad thing. He was hit, I think, between sacks and hits, he was hit maybe 11 or more times, which you don't want your quarterback being hit that much. But it also shows that maybe he can take the hits. That he's not being shy or being reserved out there after his injury. But you still don't want your quarterback to that many hits. But the fact that he was hit that many times shows that he's in playing shape and he can take it. But I think they definitely have a better shot of being a powerhouse with him in there than Nick Foles.
Well, most definitely, yeah.
But like you say, right now I do believe the NFC East is pretty much wide open.
And then not only that, just real quick, Mark, before you go, I mean, everybody is, we're talking more about Carson Wentz and stuff, but you got to give Philly the defense a lot of credit. I mean, this is the second game this season that I recall that a team is going down the field, trying to score to win the game, and the defense makes a play to stop them, and they hold them.
That's true. But look at the team they were playing.
But I mean, they did it to the Falcons too.
But should they even have been in the game? Indianapolis?
I mean,
you try.
I'm dogging Indianapolis.
I mean, they're much better. They're a much better team with Andrew Luck as the quarterback. That's for sure. But I don't think they're a powerhouse.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, they're not even considered probably a playoff team right now.
Well, I mean, you just bragged about the Skins and they beat the Skins. So,
It's called parody.
They beat the Skins. It's called parody. They beat the Skins and they had a chance.
Brag about the Skins, first of all. If you ever say that, brag about the Skins, okay? But that was my point, though, was that, they're not considered a playoff team. The Eagles kind of struggle. So that's why I'm saying that they won't be a powerhouse. I don't think they'll be, let alone an organization.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I agree with that. I think they have a chance to win our division, but I don't think they're going any further. They're not going to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
They're not beating the Rams. They're not beating Minnesota. I don't even know if they're going to beat Green Bay. It kind of depends on how what's the name needs.
Aaron Rodgers. They trade for Le'Veon Bell.
Yes.
I'll just quit.
Yes.
Yes. That happened.
No, it wasn't them. It was
the Packers.
The Packers. If the Packers get Le'Veon Bell,
they said a small chance.
Cancel Christmas. If Aaron Rodgers ever gets a running game, you can kill it. It's over. They already got to put the defense on the field. They can just say, "Go ahead, score. We're going to score against it."
You think they could beat the Rams? You think Aaron Rodgers with Le'Veon Bell could beat the Rams?
Yes.
Yeah, because the
Rams are pretty good, man.
The Rams are good. But have you seen that dude?
Aaron Rodgers is super, man. He should just put an S on it instead of a number. He should put an S on his jersey.
I mean, when you're beating teams on one leg on a regular basis, when most quarterbacks need to set and put their both stance and get a good throw, and he's throwing on one freaking leg. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark. I didn't mean to interrupt.
You good? Well, I think that wraps it up for this show for today. Any parting words you guys want to say?
Looking forward to another good week of football. Let's get back to some little bit of let's fix the roughing the passer. So we don't get that affecting game outcome. I think we'll be good.
I'm gonna actually eat a little crow and give a little shout out to them Redskin fans with me thinking that Adrian Peterson was washed up. The last game and the first game, he actually looked more like AP than I really wanted him to. So I gotta give him credit.
Well, he saw those Green Bay jerseys and he had flashbacks. So
That must have been Minnesota days.
Yeah.
That could play a role in it too, though. He knows that team.
He does. You got anything, Marcus?
I just want to say, I'm all on the Mahomes bandwagon. I did say at the beginning of the season I'm on the Deshaun Watson bandwagon.
Yeah, what happened to Deshaun?
I'm off. He won me that game against you in fantasy last week.
Sure did.
So,
I looked up. He had 60. That's where he gets 69 points from.
But right now, I'm all on as far as real life football, I'm all on the Mahomes bandwagon right now. I think he's going to continue to do great, and I like watching him play. But other than that, that's our time. I want to encourage everybody to like, share, and subscribe. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell so you get notifications. We'll see you same bat time, same bat channel next week. Have a good one. We out. Peace.